and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about unassigning orders on Doordash. So when you're driving on Doordash for any extended period of time, you'll inevitably be wondering if it makes sense to unassign from an order. Whether it's on the restaurant side or the customer side or really your side, depending on the situation. But there are some things you need to know about that first. So with that said, I want to go over everything you must know about unassigning orders on Doordash, what they tell you versus how it actually is, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain and is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult with qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything I'm going to be going over in this video is market dependent. So what applies to me in my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started. How can I unassign myself from an order? If you have already accepted an order but changed your mind before completing the delivery, you can now unassign the order by doing the following. For Dashers with Android, click the question mark button in the top right hand corner of the Dasher app. Under picking up, tap unassign this delivery. Select a reason for why you are unassigning the delivery. For Dashers with iOS, click the help button in the top right hand corner of the Dasher app. Select can't do this order. Select the reason for why you're unassigning the delivery. Click submit request / submit. Click continue to confirm the unassignment. As you can tell, iPhone users have a few more sub-steps in there. In terms of unassigning, this could be any reason that is within your control that you should unassign the delivery. That is, you're dealing with a micromanaging customer and you want to dodge the potential ratings hit. You arrive to a merchant and there's a ridiculously long wait time. Or maybe it's just a personal thing for you for whatever reason. There's no need to contact support for an unassignment if you have not picked up the order. It can all be done in-app. If you have already marked the order as picked up, you will not be able to unassign from the app to unassign contact support. That being said, if you need to unassign from an order, you can contact support before or after. I just recommend doing it through the app if you can, because dealing with support is a nightmare. Please note that unassigning an order after you have accepted it will affect your completion rate, even if you reach out to support to unassign. In order to avoid affecting your completion rate, you may always decline an order when it is offered. I actually made a video talking all about completion rate specifically. I will leave that in the description. Feel free to check that out. There is a long wait at the restaurant. We apologize for any long wait at the restaurant due to the food being delayed. Merchants do get busy, especially during peak times. In this case of these waits, you may ask the merchant directly for an estimated prep time, as support is unable to provide a better estimate than the merchant. Now, that also said, sometimes merchants will play stupid games to where they will intentionally delay the order until you arrive. Maybe they won't even start the order until 15 minutes after you get there. And they have been implementing a penalty-free unassign. But that being said, by the time that kicks in, you already wasted 15 minutes. You should have unassigned 15 minutes ago. Some merchants are ridiculous in this way. And if you need to unassign for that reason, a lot of us understand. But a way to counter those kind of orders is to only accept orders you know you're going to follow through no matter what. If you have a $10 order as opposed to a $5 order, you're probably going to keep the $10 order because you don't know when you're going to get another $10 order. But if you are taking a $5 order going 1 mile and you only took it because, well, if I could get it done quick, I'll take it, you're probably going to have a more liquid completion rate and you're going to unassign more often than you should. The best Dashers also recommend calling or texting the customer to let them know of potential delays. You don't talk about potential delays unless you know you're going to follow through on the order 9 times out of 10. Like, let's say they said it was going to be 5 minutes and it's actually taking 10 minutes or even longer than that. And you're going to stick with the order, but at that point you're texting your customer, hey, I'm still at the restaurant. I'll be there as soon as I can. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. That makes sense. But you don't do that if you're considering unassigning it. You don't communicate with them in that case because you don't know if you're going to be the one maintaining that order. And yeah, that's all they have on unassigning outside of the completion rate. but I do have some side notes that I would like to go over on this subject. Penalty-free Unassign. So in some markets, DoorDash has been testing out the penalty-free Unassign feature, where after 15 minutes, you're going to have the opportunity to unassign from that point. But if it's a 20-minute delay and you've already waited 15 minutes, you're probably completing that order regardless. It is such a misleading concept because at that point, there is a risk of contract violation, yes, because you've been waiting at the restaurant for so long. But at the same time, if you think you're going to be waiting for more than 20 minutes and it's an okay order, why would you take the order? And not to mention, if it is a 20-minute delay, that shows that the merchant was wrong. As much as I don't like giving DoorDash credit for things, they are actually pretty good about sending the orders to the restaurant as quickly as possible. And when they're like, oh, we just got the order. No, they just weren't paying attention to the tablets, whether it was because they're busy or they have a discrimination towards gig workers. It doesn't matter. If you're at the point of you're waiting for an extended period of time, you're gonna want to know sooner than 15 minutes of wait time. And by the way, for a penalty-free Unassign, it's not like you get any sort of compensation. It just means your completion rate's not gonna take a hit. So you wasted all that 15 minutes to not get paid. That's not worth it. Completion ratings. There are certain things that you need to know about completion ratings that I do need to go over on this. In order to stay on the large order program, you need a 95% completion rate or better. In order for you to stay on the platform and not get deactivated, you need to maintain an 80% completion rate or better, or in some markets, they've upped it to 90%, which makes sense because they don't want too many people getting too trigger happy with the unassigns. And that's why you don't take orders that are borderline okay. So that's why cherry picking is such an important thing. Unassigning is not canceling. When you actually get to a restaurant and for some reason they canceled the order, whether a dasher picked it up and stole the food, whether or not they just don't have a certain item, so they're just not making the whole order, or maybe the order just can't be completed altogether. Maybe the customer is actually requesting the order to be canceled because they don't have the items they want. Unassigning the order is not going to cancel it. Now, I know that support can be a pain to deal with, and believe me, support can be a pain to deal with. If you actually call support, you can get a half pay and get the order canceled, so that way you're not wasting other drivers' times. But unassigning isn't going to fix that. Unassigning is going to say, all right, well, I'm off this one and I'm moving on. So make sure you're actually getting paid for the work you're doing. And calling support is part of the work you're doing. The acceptance rate hack. So some people have been trying to boost their acceptance rate to get into the high pay order program or Top Dasher. So they'll accept an order and then they'll unassign from an order to boost their acceptance rate by 1 and their completion rate 1 down. That is something you can do. I don't recommend it because it kills momentum. But that being said, if that's something you want to do, if you need to maintain a certain acceptance rate in order to actually make money in your market, fine. Just understand that it's not worth it for everybody. Cherry picking and multi-apping. So I've touched on this quite a lot, but the best way to make sure you're not over unassigning orders is to make sure you're cherry picking the best ones and multi-apping so that way you're maintaining a consistent workflow. That being said, however, that is also a great way to make sure your account is safe at the end of the day. Because at that point, you're only working with quality customers that tip well and rate well, as opposed to working with customers who are known to be less than safe to work with. Speaking of, unassigning is safer than working with red flag customers. Anytime I work with a customer, there are a few red flags that I look for. Are they going to text me immediately as soon as I accept the order and micromanage me the entire way? That is a red flag customer. They're probably going to cause a contract violation. They will rate you badly. And their order is probably not going to have a great tip on it, if any tip at all. Working with a customer like that is not safe. You are better off unassigning that order and working with quality customers. That is a legitimate reason to unassign from an order. Overuse kills momentum. Again, I touched on this, but if you continuously unassign, like you get to a restaurant, there's a long wait time, so you unassign, or you get a stacked order and you unassign from that, and that hits you 3 times or 2 times or whatever. Doing that's gonna kill the momentum you've built up on the app. And momentum is when you finish an order and then you get another order, and you finish an order and you get another order. DoorDash kind of likes to keep busy people busy, but what kills momentum faster than declining an order? Unassigning orders. Accepting an order and not following through on it. So if you're going to unassign, make sure you have a very good reason for doing so and not just killing your own momentum. The stacked order hack. So what people have done for a very long time was when they got a stacked order that was a host and leech order, where one order has a quality tipper and the other just doesn't have a quality tip. They will take the order that makes sense and they will unassign the no-tip customer that maintained their safety on the platform and made sure they got quality customers. At this point, don't bother, because they've already fixed the whole thing. So that way you have to finish the full order in order to see who tipped what. It's hacks like that force DoorDash to do things that are like, we're not okay with this. We're gonna start to make changes in a way that stop you from doing things like that. Because I get declining no-tip customers, but accepting a host and leech order only to unassign from a no-tip customer, it's not really worth it. And I would actually be like, all right, that's kind of messed up too. It's messed up that they even have host and leech orders, but it's just as messed up to accept and then unassign. Or accept the order, tell off the customer, and then unassign. Don't even bother with those people. Just ignore them entirely. Dirty multi-apping. DoorDash has been cracking down on people who have been participating in dirty multi-apping. Let's say you have a $5 order on DoorDash, and then you get a $7 order on UberEats. Then you unassign the order from DoorDash to do the $7 order on UberEats. And then you get the $8 order on Grubhub, and then the $10 order on DoorDash again. And you've been unassigning from every one of these orders. That's dirty multi-apping. And I get the concept of a bidding war for your services, but you were on your way to a customer, unassigned from that customer, only to leave the track you're on and go on to another, only to go on to another, only to go on to another again. At the end of the day, you're losing more money not finishing an order than you are just finishing the order you have and taking the L on the other orders. That's why you don't accept borderline orders. You only accept quality orders that make sense for you. So do yourself a favor and do not participate in dirty multi-apping, because that not only risks your account, it risks all of your accounts at the end of the day, because all of them have completion rate requirements. Did I miss anything? Is there something else about unassigning orders on DoorDash that I did not cover in this video? Let me know in the comments. Let's make sure that everybody knows anything they need to know about unassigning orders on DoorDash, so that way we can make the most money in the least amount of time, maintaining the safety of our accounts, and in the best possible way. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!